So yeah, welcome everyone. This is another Career Karma Ask Me Anything session. And tonight we have Erika, who is the head of admissions for Kenzie Academy, joining us to answer a lot of the questions about their coding programs, their design courses. We had so many people ask about Kenzie, and especially Kenzie's Earn to Learn program. I hope I'm not mixing it up, where you get paid and you get a job with Apple as you're going through their full-time course. That I think it'll be great for Erika to jump in and dive deeper into the whole structure of it and how people get accepted into Kenzie later on the call. But first, I want to just welcome Erika and say welcome to Career Karma's community, and would love for you to share a little bit about yourself and how you came to Kenzie.
Yeah, of course. Well, thank you so much for having me. I am just blown away that so many of you guys have expressed interest and are taking time out of your evening to talk to me. So I have a non-traditional path of how I found Kenzie. I've always kind of been in the startup space, and I actually got my master's in political science and thought, like many other people, you know, you get a degree and you think you're going to go down one path in life, and then all of a sudden, you know, you are completely down a different path. And so that's how I kind of get started. And then, you know, I got the opportunity to meet Chuck and Rayhan, who are two co-founders, and I was just blown away by their passion and their mission and what they're trying to do with Kenzie, and I just fell in love with it. And so that's kind of how it all started. And I've kind of been there from the beginning, so I've seen everything. And so it's really awesome to see where we are now, and I'm really excited to talk to everybody today.
Yeah, I mean, for perspective, I don't know if you all know, but we've been working on this for a long time. I met Erika in November of last year, before we were even in Y Combinator, talking about how we can create something special for you all. And she's been working really hard. And we really want you all to be open to ask all the questions that you have on your mind, be as open as possible. Feedback is a gift. And I've seen their commitment to listening and improving over time. And it's awesome to see how much that they've grown with their program. So thanks again, Erika, for joining us.
Yeah, I'm so pumped.
Yeah, and I know we're about to set a record with the number of people on the call. I think over 150 people RSVP'd in the last 24 hours.
That's crazy.
And we have 80 people on the call. So let's give a shout out to Career Karma's community for growing and for supporting each other. It's unreal how much the squads have grown up, how much people have just stuck through the challenge and are helping each other. I know recently people started to ask questions about Kenzie. Just by a show of hands, how many people have applied or are excited about Kenzie? If you can just post in the chat.
You can shout it out too.
Yeah, you can shout it out too, just so we can get a feel for who is excited. So I see Michael, Sharon. Yeah.
Anybody accepted in Kenzie that want to shout it out?
I got accepted.
Okay.
That's cool. Congrats. And the reason we're asking is, if you think about coding boot camps, what they provide you with, a pathway into a job into tech that bypasses spending years studying in college. There's programs like Kenzie now that offer income sharing. That also opens up a lot of the doors for people who don't want to pay up front. They want to pay once they're actually in a job. And so having Erika on the call here, I think it would be great, before we jump into the nitty gritty about applying to Kenzie, maybe you can talk about the mission. Like, what is Kenzie's mission? Who are the types of students that Kenzie is trying to help? And what is kind of the 3 to 5 year mission for Kenzie?
Yeah, let me know if I break up so I can repeat myself if we go in and out. But yeah, so really Kenzie, when we were founded, we really understood that a lot of tech talent is located in coastal regions, right? It's usually in the Bay Area, Boston, DC corridor. And we realized there's this huge untapped potential in the middle of the country. And with jobs being automated, we really wanted to offer an extension of this to basically switch careers and change your life by giving you the skills to be successful as a software engineer, a user experience engineer, or a digital marketer. And so our mission, one, is to equip you with the best skills possible to launch a really successful career in tech. But two, to make sure when you leave, Kenzie, you, one, have the community around you. So you have the support, you have the family around you, but then you also don't leave with crippling debt. Because we believe that you shouldn't have to have money to make money. And that's where the whole idea of the ISA and the income share agreement comes from. So, you know, for just $100 down, you can commit to a full year, even two, depending on your trajectory, to spend at Kenzie. And while you're enrolled at Kenzie, obviously it's all project-based flipped classroom. So compared to other boot camps or even other education institutions, you have the opportunity to consume the material at home while in the comfort of your home, obviously, or if you live in Indiana, on campus. But then the next day you work as a team and you actually iterate and you use those skills that you just learned the night before. And you use them in real world projects. There's no, you know, that whole education system of test, lecture, you know, that's not Kenzie. We also realize that a big part of learning is peer-to-peer coaching. So then you also get that opportunity after you complete 6 months of the program to be a student coach for the next cohort coming in. So what that means is you not only get to learn the material in the best way possible, that's backed by science, that whole project-based learning, but then you also get to reiterate that knowledge by teaching others. And so we actually pay our coaches as well. And that goes back to that whole, you shouldn't have to put yourself in monumental debt in order to be successful. And that's why we want to do more partnerships like we are doing currently with Apple, where you have the opportunity to make some money while you're learning and while you're enrolled at Kenzie.
Yeah. And thanks a lot for sharing that, Erika. And we're about to open it up for the whole community to ask you questions. By the way, we just got to 96 people on this call. This is officially a record of number of people on this AMA. Our Zoom membership doesn't allow us to go above 100 yet. So at some point, there's going to be a cap, and all of you have all the spots.
Yay!
People on the call. Now. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so that's super exciting. And I think before we jump into the AMA, can you talk about the admissions process? Can anyone get accepted, or do you need to be good at math? Like, what are the requirements, and what can someone in Career Karma do to apply and get accepted into Kenzie?
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, that whole you have to be good at math to be an engineer or to be in tech, you know, is so incorrect. And so this is something that I constantly have to talk through people when they're looking to get into tech, is this imposter syndrome. And so if you're not familiar, if it's not included in the 21 coding challenge, but imposter syndrome is this feeling of not belonging, like you're not meant to be here. And so a lot of people, especially women and that are trying to get into this industry, you know, they hear the word engineer and it automatically pushes them away. So I want you to strip away that misconception and that pre-notion that you need to be a mathematician in order to be successful in our program. All we require for students after you're accepted, once you're in the program, if you continue to show up, you work hard, you ask for help, we're not going to let anybody fail. So the process, I just wanted to say that first. So the process in general for getting started, you have to fill out the application either on our website or via the landing page for Career Karma /Kenzie. Once that has been submitted, we usually reach out to you within 24 hours to 48 hours, depending on if it's a Friday or if you apply on the weekends. And then we would like to conduct an hour interview. So in the interview, there's a half hour, and I don't want to call it a tech portion, but it's a logic portion. It's thought exercise. We'll get to meet current students. And so you have that ability to have that openness. Oop.
It broke up a little bit. Can you do that again?
Oh yeah, sorry. What was the last part?
The logic.
The logic portion.
Okay. Yeah. So so there's a logic portion of the interview where you actually get to meet a current student. And they will ask you a couple logic questions. No math background is required. We'd rather, and there's no right answers when you're going through that process. We'd rather like to see how you think, and we would like you to be able to, explain why you're choosing to go down this certain path to answer this question. In terms of actually the second portion of the interview is a culture portion. So the culture portion is a conversation with us for about 30 minutes where you get to we get to learn more about you, what your career goals are, why you want to get into tech, and then you can ask us any other questions that you want. And then after that, we usually we give an acceptance and decision within 24 to 48 hours.
Awesome. That's really cool, Erika. And I think this is a perfect segue into just opening up the floor to everyone in Career Karma to ask you questions. I would ask people to just maybe introduce yourself and share with the community 10, 20 seconds, like where you're coming from, what your dreams, what your goals are, and then you can ask Erika your question.
Hey, my name is Angelica, and I'm from the Bronx, New York. I'm interested in getting into software engineering.
Awesome. Well, it's so great to meet you.
Thank you. Likewise. I'm excited for this. This is like the most excited I've been for anything I've ever done with education after high school.
That's amazing. I'm so glad to hear that.
Thank you. I look forward to finishing this up and following it completely through.
Amazing.
What would be your best advice for me as far as a career path as a software engineer aspiring?
So have you done any prior coding, or would this be your first experience and exposure to it?
I'm outdated as far as coding experience is concerned because I was actually accepted for first round of high school Academy for Information and Technology entering high school in 2003. And I haven't done anything with that since 2000, I would say 6. So I'm a newbie, more or less.
Yeah. So I would definitely say, because the tech field and the market, especially for software engineering, is always evolving and always iterating. So skills that you learned, 2, 3, 5 years ago probably are not the most up to date into what the market's looking for now. So
it's always evolving.
Right. So what we pride ourselves on at Kenzie is, one, being able to teach you those skills to be a lifelong learner. And so a lot of the tech skills we're going to give you will allow you to adapt in an ever-changing market and job role. My second advice would be, if you are planning on attending Kenzie, I would definitely, we have a larger community now in New York specifically. So getting out and networking with your peers is going to be super helpful. If you haven't been to any meetup events specifically around job placement or just tech events in the Bronx or New York in general, I would definitely recommend that. And then also just growing your network, because specifically in tech, it's all about who you know. And I don't mean that facetiously, but
it's real life facts. Everybody helps somebody. Each one hand washes the other, both hands wash the face, so on.
Yeah. And so I always like to tell students, especially because it's hard for people, because we're based in Indiana, it's hard for people to understand, you have to grow your network, you have to put yourself out there. And so, I like to tell students, I've never applied for a single job I've had. And it's all been relationship based. And so I think it's really important to build and maintain those relationships as you're progressing through your education as a software engineer.
And I really feel really grateful for Career Karma because they allowed me this plateau and platform to do so. More importantly, when I knew nothing about how to start it, you know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. Career Karma is fantastic. And I would just continue to leverage that community because, you need to have that support. You need to have that family and that encouragement, because things will get hard and they will get better and then they'll get hard again. And so not giving up, I think, is very, very important as well. And just having that grit.
Yeah, anything that's worth having won't come easy. How do you spell your campus's name exactly, just so I'm sure?
Yeah, Kenzie Academy, Kenzie, and then just Academy.
And I'm also going to drop the link to our joint landing page with Kenzie, so you can find out about their course, because they have design course as well, not just engineering. And they also describe the program, the job with Apple, so you can find out more information about that as well.
Just hit that link right there in the chat.
Yeah.
And I greatly appreciate that. I'm definitely interested in that as well.
Yeah.
Well, it was so great
Thank
to
you.
talk to you for a little bit. So I hope I get to talk to you as you go through your process. You know, we have our next cohort starting July 23rd, and we still have some seats available. So I'd love
If you
to.
could definitely forward me an email or something so I could definitely keep up with it. I can't thank enough this app that I have for Career Academy connecting me with you guys enough. Thank you all. And if you could definitely like just keep in touch with me so I can keep abreast of things, I will definitely follow through whatever I commit to.
Absolutely. Well, I love the enthusiasm.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I'm serious about everything. Like, I mean it. This is what I want to do.
Good.
And we always say like protect your dreams, right? There's a reason why we say it. I know there were some people this week who might have applied. I think they applied for income sharing and they got rejected. Realize that as long as this is your dream, the biggest bet you're taking is on yourself, right? All the rejections along the way are just these are tests to see if you really want to do this or not.
And you will figure it out. I do think that since we're talking about rejections with ISAs, if people do get rejected with ISAs, what kind of guidance do you have for them in that regard?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you do get rejected for an ISA, you know, there are other paths that we could work on. You know, if you are rejected for an ISA, you know, first and foremost, I'm going to want to have a conversation with you, understand why, and see what I can do on my end to help get you started and get you there. Also, there's an opportunity to reapply for the ISA for the next cohort. So if you did get accepted for the July cohort and we have not had that conversation yet, I would definitely, you know, make sure we do have that conversation this next week so we can come to a conclusion on what the start date will be for you specifically. But you'll also be able to still take advantage of that earn and learn. So if you do get rejected for the ISA, you start the earn and learn for the July cohort. You can use that money to start paying back whatever you need to pay back in order to get approved for the ISA.
I think it's an awesome answer. And I also, what I really like about it is the importance of communication.
Yeah.
With several of you all on the phone, nobody can help you all if you all don't share what the problems are, right? So if you run into problems or a snag, communicate with Teamwork, communicate with me, communicate with Erika, communicate with each other, and we will help each other out. This thing is don't quit. Like Teamwork said, if you stay focused and this is your dream and you're protecting it, you're going to figure out what you're made of on this journey.
And I couldn't agree more because we're held accountable and we have such a support system behind us because of this app. It's amazing. I haven't experienced anything like this before this.
Yeah, and you all are like, I think Elliot or someone in the beginning of the chat, they said that when they were on these calls, it was only 25 people. And now we're breaking our Zoom Pro account capacity. So we'll have to upgrade after this call. But basically, everything we're teaching you, someone else helped us get to where we are today. And you all are already helping others by being part of squads, by leading squads. And just take a second to imagine in a year of time, right? There's 100 people on this call. In a year of time, all of you are going to be on your own special journeys. And at some point, when you decide to start your own company or you decide to build something, you have the largest network of other designers, engineers, digital marketers to help you build the next career karma.
So every single one of you all will be employed and will be supporting each other ongoing. So this is where bonds are made. So next we get as many questions as possible.
I have a couple of questions. Hi, Erika. My name's Michael. So you mentioned if you don't get into the July.
Oh, sorry, Michael. Michael, I muted you because there was some background noises. Can you unmute yourself again?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, Erika, you had mentioned that if you don't get into the July cohort, you still have an opportunity to work in that Earn While Learn program. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you apply and you're accepted, so it's only for accepted Kenzie students, and if you have the intent to enroll, you can take advantage of that Earn and Learn program.
You're breaking up again.
I cut out.
Okay, you were breaking up for just a second.
Okay, I was saying, if If you get accepted to one of our programs, you definitely can take advantage of the Earn and Learn program. You just have to have the commitment and you have to have the intent to enroll in one of our programs.
Okay, that's one question. Another question is there a cap on the ISA? Because I know it's 17.5% over 48 months, about 2 years. Is there a cap to that, or is it a base amount, whatever you make over that 48-month period, that's what you would pay at a 17.5%?
So there is a cap to it, and the cap is 1.75 of tuition. So I don't know that exact number off the top of my head, and I don't want to give you wrong information, but I can definitely share the terms with the Career Karma team, and they can share that out as well.
And the last one, what is the $24K tuition plus no income-based repayment?
So the entire program for the full year is $24,000. And then you don't pay that tuition until after we place you in a job making more than $40,000. So is that what your question was?
Yeah. All right, great. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Erika.
I would like to say something.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So like backtracking a little bit to the rejection of the ISA, I was rejected for the ISA, but I reached out to Erika and then I told Career Karma what was going on, and they've been really helpful in that process and finding another way for me to get accepted through an ISA. So as long as you're open and you're willing to like reach out to people and tell them what's going on, you're going to get the help back. So that's one positive, not positive, but one like thing that's really helpful in all this, because I was defeated, I'm not gonna lie, when I got rejected, because I have no way of paying for this. So it was just really refreshing, and like to see people like willing to help me and be like, no, this isn't it, we can try this, and if that doesn't work, you can try this as well. So yeah, just like don't get defeated and just let people know what's going on, and people are willing to help you as well. So that's what I wanted to add.
And
I'm so happy.
yeah.
I was actually going to add the same thing because I also got rejected from my ISA, and I called Jordan in tears, and she sent a message over to Erika. And while I'm trying to explain to Jordan, Erika's calling me on the other line, and we were able to work out something. That was the best day ever, because I knew that I was going to have to find a different path, and they were so quick to respond and really help out.
Is that Earth?
No, this is Brandy.
Oh, Brandy, hi. It's so great to talk to you. Good. I'm so excited for you to start in July.
I am too. I'm just waiting on the start date for the Earn and Learn so I can get going.
I know, we actually got that information this week, so Jordan will be sending that over soon.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I want to also kind of highlight that with Kenzie, Erika is speaking to all of you now, but during the admissions process, once you get to the end, I think it's very important that there's going to be sensitive conversations that you'll have to have with people, admissions at Kenzie, and Erika takes it seriously, and at some point you'll actually be speaking to her. And I think for a lot of people in Career Karma, this is a big life decision, this is a big step. And what I love about Kenzie is that they actually make you take like an income sharing workshop or like a quiz to make sure that people understand how income sharing works. So you know how the income sharing works, what the terms are, and how the Learn to Earn program works. So everyone knows exactly what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah, and I think I think we also have a problem with traditional loans and how that loan model works. There's not a lot of visibility into it, and we want to be transparent as possible and make sure you fully understand and fully know the agreement and the ISA and what it means for you.
What are the things that get you accepted? Like, what are the requirements that get you accepted, and what are the things that'll make it where you get rejected?
For the ISA?
Yeah.
So there's there's two options, right? So one is your app goes under review, which means you have outstanding collections. The second option is
Erika, you're breaking up.
ISA has been canceled, which means it's been declined. Oh, can you hear me?
Second.
Is this?
Yeah,
Okay.
you were saying about the second option?
Okay, so the second option is that you get declined, and that means it's canceled. So for that, it's usually bankruptcy, defaulting on student loans, and having over $5,000 in collections.
Okay.
Be open about the issue. Still apply.
Yeah,
Communicate, and we'll figure something out.
Yeah.
I've got
Yeah.
a two-pronged question. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna reiterate and reinforce that. Don't let that deter you from applying and going through the process.
I'm Andre.
Right.
I have a two-pronged question. It's based on what you just answered as well. Because for me, I'm from London. I've only been living in the US for a year, so technically I have no history of. I've got any debt, and I also haven't got any history of credit. And I applied today, and I was looking at your Earn to Learn, and it says something about high school diploma. I've never been to a school in the United States. I've got a diploma, but it's not from the United States, and it's not from a high school. So I was wondering, how does that work for someone like me who has no history in the States, and I also don't have any form of U.S. education?
Great question. So the way our ISA is designed is that it will allow somebody without any credit history to be approved, because we have a lot of students that are high school students that are coming through to enroll at Kenzie. And so obviously they don't have credit cards, they don't have established credit. And so the ISA has been designed to allow that to work. For the Kelly Services Earn and Learn, I'm sure if you went to school in London or in England, that will be sufficient, but I would need to double check and get you a confirmed answer on that.
Okay, yeah, because I received a call from someone today, and it's now that you're on the phone, I realized that it was from Indiana. So I'm thinking, because when they said the name of the school, the line broke, so I couldn't get it. And I looked back on it, and it says Indiana. I'm like, that's
that's us. Yeah.
So thank you. That answered the question well.
But Andre, I think the fact that you're also a veteran of the British forces, right? So I think that qualifies you to start on this journey. But I'll leave it to Erika to look into it with her team. I think the big thing that that stood out to me is that even if you're out of high school, right, and you don't have any credit, you can still qualify for the ISA. So that's another reason why it shouldn't deter people from at least applying and having these conversations.
Can you talk about the type of laptop that you need? A lot of people have been asking about laptops.
Yes. Before that happens, may I interject really quickly just to ask a question about the Earn and Learn program?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry to be rude, not to be rude at all. I value everybody's opinion. But the Earn and Learn program, I am a citizen. How does that work? I don't have any prior college credits or anything like that.
So for the Earn and Learn program, you don't need to have any prior education experience whatsoever. You just need to be able to demonstrate 6 months of customer service experience on your resume to get approved. So that's specifically what Kelly Services is looking for, which is a partner we are partnered with that routes us to Apple.
Okay, so I've been a medical assistant for the last 5 years, and I'm looking to change my career now. So I would qualify for that as far as now?
Yeah. For Earn and Learn?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how would that affect what I have to pay? I know it's like after I get a job, it's like 15 to 17%, depending on the school and the percentages, right?
So Earn and Learn does not take a percentage of your income, and you do not have to pay to participate in that. You just have to apply and get accepted, and then Apple pays you.
Is there any way that I can get a link sent to me so that way I can apply to it officially? Because I'm not sure if I did it like the right way. Or
yeah, absolutely. Have you been accepted yet?
We're gonna drop it in the chat again right now. So hit the link that Team was dropping right here, and that's the best way to apply. Straight from there.
And this is why I love this team already. Thank you guys.
Yeah, I want to also clarify that basically, like I know Kenzie's program. It's from 9 to it's for 12 months. It's from 9 to 3 p.m. and then you have time to do the part-time job that you can do remote with Apple doing customer support. So you're doing that job while you're in the school, so you have income coming in. And as you're getting that income for working, you're not paying. You get to keep your whatever income you're making.
That works perfect for me because I already work in a school as a school nurse. So
I
this
have
is
a
like,
question.
Go ahead.
Okay. So right now, I know that pretty much everything that's been presented and everything is looking golden. From pretty much from a bird's eye view right now. But with me, the issue that I'm having is that I recently was rejected in the ISA. And, I'm not going to lie, I still feel pretty defeated about it. And I pretty much work a job right now. I work a salary position right now to where pretty much doing the earn and learn would be synonymous to a huge pay cut for me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know if they're willing to negotiate in regards to pay so that it's more of a lateral move so that you're not sacrificing so much? Or do you know if it's just set? That's my main concern.
Yeah, so the Earn and Learn program is definitely set. I don't think there's a ton of flexibility on that. So no, that's not the answer you wanted to hear.
It's okay. Be real.
absolutely, we accept that more than a lie. So going forward, like, would it be like more like a stipend, or would it be like an hourly like pay?
It's an hour. It's an hourly pay. So you'd be learning during the Kenzie schedule, and then you'd have the opportunity to earn in the evenings. And so
in the process of learning.
Correct. So during the day,
Awesome.
you'd be learning, and then you'd work in the evenings.
I think for perspective, so you all know how coding boot camps have evolved over time. When I moved to San Francisco, we were making hundreds of thousands of dollars when we were in finance, and we had to literally like live next to nothing to live and like figure out our way in San Francisco. And it's awesome that there are opportunities to be paid. Even running Career Karma now, we pay ourselves below minimum wage right now, just so you all know. It is a sacrifice.
Thank you for that.
But I definitely understand too, if you got needs, you got resources, and you have family you got to take care of. Sometimes you can't take a pay cut. So I think all questions are valid here. But just know that these sacrifices and the work that you're putting in and investing today is creating time for your future. And we will not let any setbacks hold us back from our dreams.
I have a question, Erika. So with this, correct me if I'm wrong, working for Google, work and earn program, correct?
Wait, I'm sorry, I could not hear you.
Michael, can you repeat your question?
I said, Erika, this work and earn program is working for Google, correct me if I'm wrong?
It's for Apple.
Oh, Apple, sorry, Apple. Now, my question is, do you have an option or opportunity to get a full-time or opportunity to work for them directly after you graduate while working on this program? Would they recommend you that you've been working on this earn and learn program, so they might boost you up a little to get in there somehow?
Good question. So we do not have a direct hiring partnership with Apple currently. We are working with some bigger tech companies that you may be familiar with, but we're not at liberty to kind of say who those are yet. But, nothing's impossible, but this is a partnership with Kelly first and then Apple second. So I would not count on that.
Okay, so it's for Kelly first. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Erika, I think I see some questions in the chat, and Ruben also asked that question earlier. I know previously there was a requirement to have a MacBook, but can you talk about the laptop requirement to be in your programs?
Yeah, so the MacBook is what we recommend for students who are coming in without any coding experience, just because for our instructor's sake, it allows us to be able to bounce from, student to student in a more fluid fashion. We do now accept Linux, I believe, and then there's one other Windows option, and I would need to confirm what those are. We just made this change this week. Yeah. So I think I sent those over to you, to Career Karma.
Yeah. And just to explain to the folks, so basically, like when you're doing development, you need to install different tools on your computer, and so MacBook makes it a little easier for you to download a lot of the different tools that you need. But you can achieve the same result if you have a PC, if you have like a Windows machine. You just have to install an open source operating system called Ubuntu. And then you can run the same tools you would have on the Mac on Ubuntu. And so this way, if you have a computer that's a PC and you don't feel like you have resources to purchase a MacBook, you can install Ubuntu, and that will allow you to install pretty much all of the tools that you would have on the Mac. And I can share with you, Erika sent our team the list of approved laptops that you can use, so you can also reference that.
Does an iMac qualify?
I believe so. Yeah, if you have an iMac, you're good.
I think the best way to figure out which laptop is to apply on the joint landing page and talk to them directly, because everybody has different equipment, and it will take a long time to go through everybody's equipment on this call. But I think, again, all cases are valid. Apply on the website.
Tamar or Ruben, which one? That Obium, what do you call it? Obum, what do you?
Ubuntu.
Is that hardware or software?
This is software. It's basically your operating system. It's an open source operating system. Someone posted in the chat the name.
All right.
It will take you a few hours to install it on your PC, but like once you get accepted and you know you want to attend, you can just install it and it'll be easier. Let's see. We have about 15 minutes left. So I would love to see if people have any other questions for Erika.
At least 5.
Yeah. This is Delrick from Houston. My question is, as far as curriculum goes. So, for example, we know that tech is always forever changing within itself. My question is, so let's say right now there's the regular JavaScript, and JavaScript has something coming out right now. The next thing you know, boom, 2 weeks later, to the actual curriculum that you're doing that they're teaching right now, and JavaScript releases this new update, then are we going to change within the program, or are we going to wait?
Great question. So at Kenzie, we realize that the market is ever changing and ever evolving, and languages are also changing constantly. So we have the luxury and the time to invest heavily in our curriculum. And so we work directly with employers. And so we give them access to our curriculum, and then they help us shape what we teach our students. So compared to traditional four-year universities, that's usually bound by red tape, they take a lot of time to iterate on their curriculum. So where Kenzie differentiates, and even between, or if you compare us to other smaller coding schools that are 6 weeks, 3 months, we just don't feel like that's enough time to fully learn the skills you need to learn to launch a successful career in tech. So with the 12 months, you get breadth and depth in those languages. You don't only learn the fundamental skills of those languages, but you learn how to adapt to those languages too. And we also teach you how to evolve as those curriculums or as the market is changing and those languages are updating as well. But we update our curriculum constantly, so it's always the cutting edge. And all of our heads of curriculum come from Google, come from LinkedIn, come from Playdom, which was acquired by Disney for $500 million.
Yeah.
So these people they've stripped away all the BS that they wish they did not learn, and they kept the things that they needed in their career to be where they are today.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this. Now, within those changes, what are some of the new changes that you're really excited about going forward?
For me, I'm not an engineer, so I can't really speak about what I'm excited about in the market. I think I'm really excited about automation. I know that's not really a technical term, but I'm excited to see how that will change technology significantly.
Indeed. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question. This is Earth. Hi, Erika.
Earth, hi.
Earth.
It's so good to see you.
You too. I just want to thank you for working with me. Tamir and Ruben, thank you guys. Like, it means so much. And I know everybody that has been working with you guys, I know they feel the same way. So thank you, like a million infinite thank yous.
You're gonna make me cry. I'm so happy.
So I have a question about when we're in class, like how does that work? I've never been in an online school or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Curious to know like how does that work? I know that we're going to be in class from 9 to 3 Monday through Friday. And I know I'm not in Indiana. The attention that the instructors give, like how much attention will I get?
You'll get it. Yeah, great question. So a lot of our students are remote, and so we've changed our teaching style to facilitate that, right? And so you'll have a morning stand-up every morning where you'll have to log in. It'll be a video chat just like this. You guys will go over what you need to review and what you'll need to do for that day. You'll also go over any questions or outstanding issues from the night before. And then you'll also, midway throughout the day, though, there's usually a demo where either a student will lead it or an instructor will lead it. And then beyond that, in the first couple months, you will be doing a lot of individual work just because you're starting to build up that fundamental base of skill. And then you'll start to evolve into the project-based learning. And that is when you'll start to collaborate in environments like this. It will be video chat, and it will be done, a lot via Slack, if you're familiar with that communication channel. We also have an entire LMS system that you'll have access to, so a learning management system that you'll have a login, it'll have all your homework, it'll have all your assignments, X, Y, and Z will all be laid out clear as day there. We do host all of our events we do on campus. We also offer them to our remote students too. So we're actually having, so someone from Google is coming at the end of this month that will broadcast to our students as well. So make sure you take advantage of that too.
Also, one more question. Did you get my email earlier?
I did. I need to respond. I'm sorry. I'm like on vacation a little bit right now. So you can see all my trees. I'm in the woods.
Erika, what's the speed like?
What's the what like?
Because I went on another competitors. I just tried a webinar that they did, and the teaching speed, that didn't seem like it was for beginners. It was just too fast.
Yeah, so that's what I was trying to get to at a little bit earlier. So since we have the luxury of 12 months, it's not going to be so much down your throat, and it's not going to feel like if you don't get a concept, you're just kind of lost and left behind. We're going to make sure everybody is being kept to there's obviously a cohort standard, and we will move, a little quickly, but it's not going to be at the speed as a 6 month or a 3 month boot camp would operate as.
Okay.
And so in the first 6 months in the program, you're doing front end development. And then in the second 6 months, you're doing back end development. So you have a full 6 months to learn those concepts before you move on to the back end.
Okay, thank you.
But everybody come in with the mindset that this is a boot camp, right? So we're not going in here for a vacation.
Mm-mm.
Push ourselves.
Yeah, it's time to hustle.
Yeah.
If I'm interested in iOS, is that different?
Is iOS different?
Yeah, like is that a different route of education, or is it all the same?
So we do not teach iOS. I'm not sure the answer to that. I'm sorry.
I would say, I think it comes down to, for people who are asking this question, I think it comes down to like, what is your end goal? If your end goal, let's say, is to build mobile apps for iPhone or Android, let's say you're an entrepreneurial and you want to build apps like Career Karma. 5 years ago, you had to learn like iOS to be an iOS developer and build apps for Apple. Today, you can just learn React Native, which is you pretty much write JavaScript, and you can learn React Native, and then you can just build apps not just for iPhone, but you write your app once and you deploy to Android and iPhone, so your team doesn't have to support two platforms. You just have a single code base, which is what Career Karma is actually using to build our mobile apps. So we write our apps in JavaScript. And so if you specifically want to learn iOS because you like Swift, then you probably have to look for a different course. But if you're just starting out and you want to learn how to code, get a job, being able to build websites and mobile apps, then you can also look at web development. And the main thing you're going to be learning is just how to build. Later on, you can decide if you want to build mobile apps or websites or some other hardware.
Somebody's asking in the chat, when is the part-time online program coming for Kenzie? Is that something that's in the works?
So the part-time just got finalized this week.
Oh shit!
And we are going to send that all out on Friday.
Another one.
Can you speak a little about your relationship with Butler, Colorado State?
Yeah, so when students graduate Kenzie Academy, they get a joint certificate from Kenzie and Butler University. And then you also get 45 credits that applies to Colorado State University, because we do realize that students still put an emphasis on traditional education and degrees, even though it's not necessary to get a tech job. We do understand that there's still value in that for some people. And so that's why we created that pathway.
And just to clarify, just to emphasize, at the end of Kenzie, you actually get, one sec, let me mute someone's mic. At the end of Kenzie, obviously the goal for Kenzie is to help you get a job in tech as a developer or as a UX designer. But if people wanted to get like an undergraduate degree, you would actually have, it sounds like 45 or 46 credits towards your degree if you wanted to just continue teaching yourself and get your full degree afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. So our goal is to get you in and out as quick as possible and to get you in the highest paying job as soon as quick as possible. So we just placed somebody at $90,000 last week as a software engineer, and he was an HVAC repairman 6 months ago. So try and put yourself in that mindset and think about, when I talk to students, I talk to them quite often, and there's always like life issues, like, oh my God, a year without a paycheck, 9 to 5, 9 to 3 for a year. I'm just like, listen, 1 year, that's it. And then your entire life is going to change.
Hey guys, correct me if I'm wrong, Erika. You said you was able to job place him after 6 months.
So it all depends on how quickly you're able to go through the program, right? Obviously, we want you to be with us for a full 12 months, but we had somebody who was moving through the program quickly enough that, and she also had prior experience, and we were able to place her at that rate. That's not everybody, but, at the end of that 12 months, we're starting to see people, especially software engineers, get between the $75,000 to $90,000 range after our program.
Yeah, it goes back to you get out what you put in.
Yeah, exactly. We can't promise that to everybody.
No, but I'm just saying, so you could be proactive and go forward. You don't have to be on a certain pace and wait for everybody else to catch up. If you wanted to, you could take the initiative and just be proactive and go and advance to the next lesson.
Right. And so you'll be able to move through curriculum quickly, and then we will be able to give you more additional things as you're moving through the curriculum. But we're not going to allow you to move to the back end until the rest of the cohort moves to the back end, right? So that's a minimum of 6 months.
And
somebody had asked in the chat a question that was pretty good. They wanted to know what was like a typical day. Like, could you break down what a typical day would be like for a class?
Yeah, so 9:15, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time is stand up every morning, and that usually lasts about 45 minutes. After that, you will work through the assignments for the day and the projects. So they're mimicking real world projects and company projects that you would normally be assigned to. In the afternoon, you'll have a demo. And then after your demo, you will have a couple hours to finish the assignment that is for the day. And when I say assignment, that's the project. And then that's how your days will progress. And then you'll end the 6 months with something called a capstone. And the capstone is basically you and a bunch of your peers actually build a website, build a product, and you have to pitch it to the rest of your cohort.
Hi, this is Sharon from the Bronx.
Hey, Sharon.
Hi, I have a bit of a, I don't want to say complication because nothing's going to be a complication once I think about it. I'm home right now on workers' comp. I think I spoke to Tamir about this. I've been home for quite a while. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be home, but I really don't want to waste any more time in regards to moving forward in this. What do you think would be the best thing for me to do? Because I want to start full time. I just don't know what's coming in the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months.
So what would be like the worst outcome in those 4, 5, 6 months? Would you have to go back to work, or would you stop getting like workers' comp?
I would have to go back to work.
So I would, if you decide you want to do this,
break.
I will 100%. If you have to go back to work, I would just say, oh, was I breaking up?
Just a
Can you hear
little
me?
bit, and I muted Sharon. I muted you just while Erika was answering your question because there was some background sound. But Erika, what were you saying?
I was going to say, you know, if you're 100% committed to this, I don't know what your situation is. You know, I would be fully committed and not go back to work, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense, but I have a child and I need health insurance.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just worried about health insurance at the end of the day.
I know, and unfortunately, Kenzie does not have any help in terms of health insurance for our students.
Yeah, I would say since I know it's not official yet, but if Kenzie is going to be rolling out a part-time course, that could also be something you can consider, Sharon, if you don't want to take the risk of committing to their full-time course.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, because that would be something that would be my main go-to would be the part-time. Hopefully, it becomes available soon.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. That's it.
Folks, we're about to wrap up the call. I wanna remind everyone that in the last week we actually rolled out Career Karma Fast Track. How many people have gotten their applications approved through Fast Track?
Shout it out.
So there's a few people. Basically,
Andre.
It's one of the best ways. Awesome. It's one of the best ways for you to ensure that you don't just get accepted into one school, but multiple schools. And in the process, bootcamps like Kenzie is going to be in Fast Track giving you an offer, and you can track your offer. So you can see clearly what are the required steps for you to turn a conditional offer into a full offer. And one example is with Kenzie, you just have to do, one sec, there's a few people who share their screen, but one sec.
Hey, Timur, can I have a question real quick? I'm sorry.
One sec. I'm just, someone was sharing their screen. But what I was saying is in Fast Track, you'll be able to see all of the steps that you need to do. You can set reminders, you can complete them, and then it's a no-brainer what it will take for you to get accepted. And like Erika was saying, their team is very warm in terms of understanding what challenges you might be facing, and they're willing to work with you on it. So one of the best ways for you to take advantage of just applying to Kenzie is do it through Fast Track, so you can keep track, and you can also apply through it.
And for the people that haven't seen Fast Track, it's something that we just launched. So make sure you take it very seriously. In the future, Career Karma profiles will be more powerful than any resume in the world. So it's very important for you all to keep it updated. We're communicating with bootcamps, we're communicating with schools, we're communicating with companies and governments to understand exactly what you need so you all are the most competitive in the workforce. So keep that updated and clean and sharp.
Yeah, and for folks who might be hearing about Fast Track for the first time, basically when you get to day 7, we're gonna ask you to update your profile and submit it for review. After either me or one of our community managers reviews it, you'll receive several conditional offers from schools like Kenzie, and it will outline all of the steps that you need to do to get a full acceptance. And so it takes out all the guesswork, and it puts you in a position of just kind of being in control of your destiny and being in control of what steps you need to do to get the full acceptance.
Hell of a feature. That's a hell of a feature. Great.
You like that?
And over time, I think by working closely with Kenzie and other partners, I think they can see how someone progresses through the 21 days. And then at the end of the day, schools care about people who have grit, people who complete their prep courses, coding challenges, and get accepted. And then it just streamlines the whole process. So as a student, you don't have to jump through 20 different hoops. You can just do kind of what's asked of you, and then you get accepted, and then the student wins, the school wins, and Career Karma now has the largest community of people helping each other. We're about to end the call. I want to once again say thank you to Erika for joining in tonight. Let's give Erika a round of applause.
Erica.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being so open and helping us set a record. Getting over 100 people on the call tonight.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. This will definitely go down. So thank you so much. And I wanted to also say that if people wanted to stick around, Ruben is doing a follow-up CEO kickoff for anyone who's new in Career Karma, and you might be on your first week. And so I'm dropping the Zoom link if you wanted to jump in on that. But thank you so much, Erika.
What is Erika's social?
Oh, I don't really go on social media. I mean, I have a Facebook, but like I'm not really fun.
Kenzie Academy.
Yeah, Kenzie Academy.
Yes.
Sorry.
Kenzie Academy on Twitter. If you enjoyed this call, and give a shout out to Career Karma as well.
I'm the lamest millennial that ever existed.
No worries, Erika. Thank you so much for joining in, and thank you all in Career Karma for asking great questions, helping each other. Let's break in, everyone.
Bye, guys.
See you soon.
Thank you.